After enduring months of war and displacement, people in the Gaza Strip are now facing a new threat: polio. The World Health Organization detected polio type 2 in sewage samples collected for 6 sites in Khan Yunis and Deir al-Balah. The region's ability to manage public health has been, of course, severely impacted by almost 10 months of war in the region. For more on the situation, we are joined by Joe English, UNICEF's emergency communications specialist. Joe, welcome.
Good to be with you, Anne-Marie.
So type 2 poliovirus has been detected in wastewater in the Gaza Strip, although there has not been anybody diagnosed with it yet. Can you give us an idea of the conditions that have led to this?
Yeah, we have been warning of the risk of communicable and waterborne diseases for months now, and it feels like our warnings have just fallen on deaf ears. I mean, your viewers will see the pictures, they will see the water in the streets, they will see the open sewage. And these conditions are rife for waterborne diseases, and now we see the threat of polio. And polio is a disease which we know how to prevent. It has been eradicated in almost every single country in the world. It is a disease that should have been consigned to the past a long, long time ago. And now thousands of young children, and not just in Gaza, diseases don't respect international borders. This is a threat to children all across the region. And so we need to do everything that we can to protect children, prevent the spread, and hopefully beyond hope, we just hope that we don't see any paralytic cases, because that would just be horrific.
So, Joe, talk about the vaccination rate then, potentially, of people who have, because most people living there now have been displaced. So the potential for vaccinations at least, or the opportunity to be vaccinated, because of course there were children who 10 months ago may not have been old enough to receive a vaccination. Can they get one now?
Yeah, I mean, prior to the conflict, the vaccination rate for polio for children was 99%. So that was pretty much perfect. In 2023, that fell to 89%. So that leaves this cohort of children who are incredibly vulnerable. And I have 2 young children myself. And in that period between when they get their first vaccine, before they get their first vaccinations, you are so hyper aware of the risks. And so you can just imagine being a parent in Gaza now who for months have been doing everything that you can to make sure that your children have enough food, to make sure that they are protected from the violence and the conflict that is raging around them. And now there is this additional threat. And so we need to be able to get in. We need to be able to work with our partners at WHO and the health authorities to do a vaccination campaign, if that is the best plan. But in these conditions, that is going to be near impossible. So it's just yet another reason why children and families need a ceasefire.
Okay, Joe, can you talk to us about the conditions on the ground? We've been sharing some images with our viewers right now. But can you give us a better sense of what the challenges are for health teams and others trying to get in to provide aid and protection?
Yeah, certainly. And I'll provide a little bit of context. I mean, we do these kind of vaccination campaigns all around the world. We do them, on the back of donkeys going up mountains. We do them on boats crossing, rivers in the most remote areas. But in this context, where you have just complete and utter destruction and continued brutal fighting, we continue to see mass casualty events happening on almost a daily basis. That is the kind of situation where it becomes near impossible, because we need to be able to reach children and families where they are. And families are being displaced multiple times and now living in conditions that no parent, no family would want to see their children grow up in. And so an end to the fighting and giving children a chance to rebuild their lives and allowing us to get in and provide the basic necessities of life to keep children alive. We need an end to the fighting, we need to see the hostages released, and we need to see an end to this horrific situation.
Talk to me about the medical facility. So officials have said that Al Nasser Medical Complex, that's formerly the largest operational hospital in Gaza, it's not functional. So what kind of effect does that have on a population who are living in need of medical treatments?
I mean, you can imagine, it is, as I say, we continue to see mass casualty events, which means there are large numbers of people who are injured in the fighting, who are coming to hospitals that are, as you say, barely functioning, to doctors and nurses and medical professionals who are exhausted. More than 9 months this has been going on, and there are heroic international doctors who have been going in and out and being able to get a rest. But there are also Palestinians who have been there throughout, doing everything they can, not resting, to protect children, to treat patients. But at some point, the will, the energy that you need to do that is just so depleted that it becomes near impossible. You know, I mean, I spoke to families, I spoke to doctors and nurses months ago who told me they were exhausted and on the verge of just collapse.
Yeah.
And now we're a month later, 2 months later. It just is. It's beyond comprehension.
Some of them have left because of safety. One last question, Joe. The polio virus was detected in the wastewater. Talk about the sewage treatment plants and what people are going to do for clean water.
Yeah, certainly. You know, I mean, the water and sanitation system has repeatedly come under attack, and it's something which, again, you know, UNICEF leads on water and sanitation work in conflicts around the world, and we know how to ensure that people have adequate supply to safe water. But that's just not been able to happen here because of the strength and the brutality of the fighting. Portable toilets are one of the supplies that we had issues getting into the Gaza Strip. And so no one can say they were surprised when we are seeing our warnings of these kind of waterborne and communicable diseases come true, you know. And as long as the fighting continues, our predictions, which is the situation will continue to get worse, we fear that they will continue to come true. And so, again, you know, we keep saying this, but it's because it is the only way to end the suffering of the children and families who are affected. We need a ceasefire.
Joe English, we appreciate voices like yours and UNICEF's as well, letting us know what the situation is on the ground and the extra dangers now being faced by people who are displaced. Thanks so much.
Thanks so much, Anne-Marie.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked this, be sure to subscribe here, or you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.